Darkness, not a comfortable place for a lot of folk. I am your host, Apocalypse Priest. Didn't really get much accomplished today. Just hung out with my homeboy, went to the studio, played some beats, chilled out a little bit. Got a hit up from one of my BMs about reuniting with my sons. You know, she's married. Everybody goes on with, with life when you go. And though it's a prayer answered, I'm still praying on it because I don't want any problems. I don't want any, y'all know how some of these baby mamas can be, man. But I miss my boys. I've seen them in almost 8 years. I ain't even spoke with them. You know what their voices sound like. But what I did meditate on today, man, was just family. Just trying to get my house in order. I think about these patriarchs, man, that had all these wives and, how Rachel and Leah always felt they had to fight for old boy's time. Isaac, Jacob, whichever one it was, man. The conflict they had that when she couldn't birth for him, she would give the maid up and have children through them. And I'm kind of like in that situation, man, where the children are more important. But the women couldn't get along at one point, so now we're seeing some peace and hopefully some maturity, but there's still that skepticism about is this real? Like I said, I've been a bad dude, so 7 baby mamas, man, that's a lot of BMs, man. You know what I mean? And sometimes I wonder if I'm sharing too much with y'all out there, man. It don't make me much of a difference. Who better to tell my story than me? But it's definitely something to pray on. So as you can tell, I'm on the Outer Banks of Chesapeake. I'm in the country. You hear the crickets, man. It's all right out here. A little peaceful living. Away from all the noise and yeah, man, family, getting the house in order, man. Trying to be this living example for my sons and my daughters. You gotta show your son how to be a man. You gotta show your daughter what a man is. And some of them already past that point, but they recognize the change. They see the change. They always knew the intentions. Because a child will love you pretty much regardless of anything, man. Pretty much. So when I think about these sons, man, they're autistic, special needs. So I got to go through a whole platform of learning how to communicate with them, know what their moods are. Yeah. So if y'all watching this, man, just keep me in prayer, man. I make the best decision. Because I'm really very, very skeptical about it. I'm not at peace with it. More or less not because it's not viewed as a door that God will open or has opened, but dealing with the person on the other side of that door. Because intentions may all seem well. I mean, if you ever been in and out, things seem like they're dead. Then all of a sudden, they're back at your throat, wanting to control you and all these other things. So if you ain't got your house in order, man, try to get your house in order. The book of Timothy, Paul talks about he who doesn't take care of his household is worse than an infidel. Not saying you are an infidel, but we're not displaying good stewardship over what God has given us. Again, some things that I've come to understand. But I love all my children. Always will. Right or wrong, they mine. Same way with our Heavenly Father. Right or wrong, we're His. Because it brings it back to what I was reading today about there's a generation that despises father and mother. And I used to wonder why they would despise their mother and father. And I'm kind of seeing a parallel between the parent that does too much and the parent that doesn't do enough. And is there a fine line to just do enough? To spoil your child means you don't really discipline them. But it's not to say they all turn out bad. But to not discipline your child. You know, one of the things that Eli had an issue with his sons was he didn't discipline them. And God was mad because he didn't restrain them. And Samuel was raised under the tutelage of Eli. And he went on to do the exact same thing. His sons were out of order. And that was the very reason why the people of Israel wanted a king. Because they was like, well, when you go, who's going to talk to God for us? So Hannah's prayer was answered. She got her son. But he was raised by a man that taught him how to serve God, but this man didn't know God at the time. Just like Job said, before I've only heard of thee, but now I've seen, I've heard. And he didn't get his house in order in time, and his sons ended up perishing. Eli's sons. And the ark was taken. So like I was saying yesterday, man, it's my hope that as long as I'm here, whatever time I got left, man, I can give my son something. And with these autistic sons, I don't know per se what that is, man, but I know love is a must. You know, I know that's a must, bruh. So, I'm gonna get in here, man. Loosen up my belt, went to Golden Corral. Yeah, man, got my grub on. $20, man. And I ate about $100 for food, but I made sure I got my money's worth. Especially for a cat that ain't really working right now, so gotta make that back. Gotta make that back. But I enjoyed myself today, man. Just got out kicking with my homeboy, Just Man. Check him out on YouTube. Born Gifted Productions. I'm just trying to get something back, man. Just something. You know, move forward with this ministry. I know y'all like, yo, when he gonna get to the music, man? We gonna get to the music. It's coming, bro. It's coming, bro. But get to know me, man, so you can appreciate the music. I don't want you buying into a gimmick or what sounds good. Know me, man. And I want to apologize to my lady. She said she didn't like the way on one of my gents I was talking about. It go old girl, my first one. Said she felt disrespected. I apologize to her publicly. I'm sorry, love. Won't happen again. I try to be more conscious of me using that N-word. I know it's not a godly thing, but I still got some rough edges, and you know, this is the pilot process, I guess, of the ministry, man. So y'all bear with me. If it pop out, it pop out, though. Again, there's no perfection inside. I just have to be a little bit more aware of what I'm doing and who I'm talking to. Pardon the darkness, man, but it's just something to think about. Can't see my face, but you know what I look like if you look back a few videos. But get familiar with the voice. Apocalypse Priest, Crucifix Gang. Again, shout outs to Armageddon. Fam back home. M Easy. Watts. Benny Snake Eyes. Red. Coaster. Fam Pierre, you know. All my peoples, man. Brother Mac. My blood brother, he be home in a little bit. Told you, man, my whole family just dysfunctional. But we alright, man. Shout out to Hassan, wherever you at, fam. Appreciate the jewels from back in the day. But let me get in here, man, before it be like pitch black for real. Ain't nobody Vin Diesel. Again, man, love y'all, man. Y'all take care of each other. Shalom.